Welcome to another podcast short with me and Dustin. We're going to talk about an experience Dustin had this fall with a student athlete that we think may have been handled differently 5-10 years ago than he did this fall. So Dustin, why don't you tell the story? And
let me preface that and say, without question, would have been handled differently 5-10 years ago. We had a player that did not show up to weights one morning.
Every player we both love.
And we'll love for, doesn't show up for weights. And I asked his roommate, hey, where's this player at? And he said, he didn't want to come. That was just stated. So, by the way, side note, didn't blow it up. Didn't say, well, didn't say, well, he's done. He's just, right. Just left it where it was. Go through weights, text the player. Hey, need to come see me? Yeah, I know you missed weights. And the text message exchange was, I don't have anything to say. Why weren't you at weights? Wasn't there. Didn't feel like it. I don't have anything to say. If you got something to say, that's fine. I don't need to come.
Which is out of character for you.
Way out of character. If you need to say something, go ahead. And it's one of those ones where you text and then you delete before you send. And what it got it down to was I was able to identify, hey, I got a guy hurting. We got a guy that's hurting for probably some type of playing time reason, whatever. And so basically text back said, nope, that's not how it works. You got to come. Let's chat. The player said, no, I'll see you at practice with my teammates or with my team. And I said, well, hey, I'm part of that team too. There's not a practice if there's not a conversation. Come on. So comes up and at the beginning, pretty defiant, pretty standoffish. Again, way out of character. And here was the tipping point. Player was not going to play in a final tournament of his final semester, final month here. And I think when I said to the player, hey, this is my first time through this. I've never had seniors. And I've definitely never had seniors that at one part, and if you know golf, you know this happens, at one part of the season we're an impact player, at another part of the season or career have been on, quote, the outside looking in, and just said, hey, I don't know if I'm doing that right. Maybe there's something I should do different moving forward, like a, senior tournament, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end said, hey, at the end of the day, we're not going to change. We've always got to root for the golf. And it was pretty hard there. And then I said, hey, that's not how we do it. That's not how you and I talk to each other. Do I talk to you like that? That's not what we do. You've been part of this. You've been an unbelievable part. You've added so much value. The player gets pretty emotional. And I said, it ended with this. It said, hey, I love you. I'm so happy you're here. You're going to be at practice today, putting your best foot forward, and so am I. And one of the things that he kept saying is, I'll be there for my teammates and my team. And at one point I just said, hey, we're part of this together. Quit saying team like I'm not in the room. And all that to say, player comes to practice, nothing changes. We carry on just like every other practice. Fast forward a month and a half later, we do a meal and a send-off for the guys who are done at semester. And we give an opportunity for other players on our team to stand and just speak into, over, pray, whatever they want over each guy. There was not a guy in that room who was more emotional. In fact, the entire time emotional. Stands up, can't really get through it. Just thanking players. At the end, looks at me, thanks me. We get through and it's, hey, I love you. I'm proud of you. I love you too, coach. I'm proud. That player that, by the way, had the banquet. He's leaving the next morning. Who's the last guy? And comes by again, hug and a lot of tears. Thank you so much. I've learned so much. Gets on the plane and 7 hours later, I sent you the text. Says, hey, I couldn't say it in the moment, but basically says, here's what I've learned through this process. Thank you so much. 5-10 years ago, here's what happens. You don't come to practice or you don't come to weights. Yeah, you're not coming to practice. And we don't talk to me like that. This is how it is. And that ends so poorly because I probably just say or just end it right there instead of saying, hey, what's the body of work? The body of work has been amazing. It's been a kid that's been all in. He's been a part of history. He's been the opposite. He's been incredibly selfless. He has a, quote, selfish moment. He has a moment where I think a lot of things are coming to head. And by the way, maybe I didn't handle. I mean, is there a chance that I should have done something different or even communicated? You bet. But giving back in that moment, what's it in with? A relationship that'll last forever. As he said to both of us, if you're ever in my home country, you have a place. And I will say this, and I mean this, overall, not a better teammate, better guy, better rep of the program, just incredible. But yeah, would have ended very differently.
That was funny. I saw him a few weeks after you guys were reconciling, and when I just said, dude, you would have broken Dustin's heart.
He would have.
And he goes, man, he goes, I'm just glad we got to talk it out. Yeah, that's what he said. But what are your takeaways? And then, so I'm an old baseball coach. What if it's a baseball roster of 45 people, 50 people? Are there differences you think in the approaches on this?
Yeah. Well, one, and again, book promotion here. It's a platform of care. We're not doing this over text. We have that platform, i.e. we have one-on-ones with coach and player. This is not a new thing. Yeah. And it's, hey, we're going to get in and we're going to talk through it. And we may agree to disagree. That doesn't mean we're going to bail on each other. But here's what I would say. That history was there. This wasn't a new thing.
Yeah. I would guess there's a difference too if it's his first semester here.
Correct. Yeah. There had been 3.5 years of this is consistent behavior. We do make mistakes, but we do love each other. We do give each other platforms. Coaching question. What do I ask all of our guys one-on-ones? What do you want? More of, less of, never again? What does coach suck at? That's me. What did I lie to you in the recruiting process? And so one, it was going back to that system of care. The other one is, man, the ability to give back. I am human. And by the way, maybe I could have communicated that better at the front of the season. And by the way, I didn't communicate to our guys who are leaving, hey, we're doing something at the end of the semester to recognize, honor, affirm, love on, speak over you guys. That it's not like if you didn't play in the last tournament, this thing was over. I think what was needed was some recognition to say, hey, I see you, I value you. And it's what we said in an earlier podcast. This kills me. You're not going to play the last tournament, but I can't change the tune now.
I think that, and the other thing you've said in numerous podcasts, is you've built an expectation of how we interact with each other. Mm-hmm. And you can say, this is not how we do this.
Well, when I said that line, when I said to him, I said his name was like, we don't talk like that. We don't do that. It got pretty emotional there. And to be honest, it was emotional for both of us. Like, come on, I love you. This sucks for both of us, but we're going to end this thing, right? And it was funny. I said to him now that we're saying that, I said, hey, a month from now, you're going to leave this place. We're going to hug each other. We're going to talk about all the incredible things. We're not letting this, we're not going to let this define it. And by the way, when I think of that player and that contribution, you better believe that, it's an awesome thought. But again, how do you do that if you don't have systems set up? Two, how do you do that if you just want to be right instead of, maybe a podcast?
Sorry to interrupt you. Even that situation, how I reacted was you were reacting very maturely like this, and in the moment I was fighting it like, come on, man. I was pissed.
Yeah. I think that goes deep to the relationship, right? Yeah. And I think you're right. If that's a freshman year and first semester thing, the conversation may be, hey, this is how we do it. We've been clear on the expectation. If you can't be a team player in that, I want you here. We'll grow together. But if that's not for you, you may have to think about doing something else because this is how we're going to do it. Right. And so, again, speaking truth in that way, not trying to power play, as you say, to anybody, but this is how we do it. The other part is this. I think consistent behavior wins out when we say, hey, we got to root for the golf. And that's been consistent. There is, you got to make some decisions in there, but the golf is the number one influencer in that to say, this isn't a personal, I like you better than someone else. And when you can stand on that, some good things happen. You asked about a baseball roster. That's really hard. I've never had a roster that big. I think in those ways, it's probably more consistent messaging on why you made the decision you make, because you probably can't get to everybody individually. You speak to it. You've had big rosters. I haven't.
I think when I asked that question, I really haven't thought about the nuance. There was a pattern of behavior that was really good. And then when somebody acts way out of bounds, I think you still call them in. Mm-hmm. So what's going on, man? Mm-hmm. The other thing that I feel like needs to be said in this that we can wrap up is this is also one of those that can sound easy here, but it's hard. And because what's going on internally inside you, at least initially, isn't this.
Yep.
And I think it's as simple. I think we play this role for each other of being able to talk behind closed doors and be frustrated and disagree. And I think that stuff's okay, but you got to have a plan on how you're going to react, but also space to, this is stupid, it sucks, it pisses me off.
And with this line, I think the toughest coaches, the coaches who are, and I mean really, as in what they expect of their players day in, day out, I think the toughest coaches know when to be tender. That was a time and a place to be tender. We'd had plenty of times where we were tough together. That was a time to be tender, and a lot of work to do. I would like to think they're really good coaches, man. They are tough and they know when to be tender. And this will sound so weird for me to say. That was a sweet moment. I mean, it's an emotional deal for me when I said, "Hey, we don't talk to each other like that. We don't." There's a lot of that's not how we talk to each other. For all the things you don't do well, you look back and say, "We got that one right."
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a good way to end it.
Yep.
Tough and tender, Coach Dustin Galyon. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Thanks everybody for listening. Feel free to listen on Substack, leave some comments. Thanks.